Woohoo! I'm live. This is Math 60, section 4.1, page 3, otherwise known as Tuwa in another language. So we're going to talk about the Hulk and Loki because that's what we always do when I'm doing inequalities. And anyone else who doesn't talk about the Hulk and Loki, I got to be honest, is not doing real math. So I'm referencing, of course, the comic book The Hulk, who is actually quite large. I've only made him somewhat comically larger than Loki and not gigantic. But so the Hulk is a giant green person, not kind of person. And Loki, of course, is a very small and usually cranky god. And so I'm claiming that the Hulk is greater than Loki, hence A is greater than B. And hopefully you agree that the Hulk is bigger than Loki, that is small. So if I were to build a box and to blow away some bunny fur, and I made the box C tall, in other words, I put the Hulk up on the box and I put Loki up on the box. The thing is the Hulk is still bigger than Loki. So A plus C is still larger than B plus C. So it does not matter how big the box is. If they're both up on it, the Hulk is still bigger, and that's why he's smiling. And Loki is sad because he pretty much is all the time. So then you might ask, well, what's going on here? Well, A minus C. Now I got to tell you, when I first started teaching this, it was a little bloodier, but now I just put them in a ditch. Let's put them both in a ditch. This seems like a bad idea, but I'm a math teacher, so I think I can handle it. If this ditch is C deep, then effectively what I'm doing is I'm subtracting C from their height. So A minus C and B minus C, and the Hulk is still bigger. So subtraction with inequalities is still perfectly fine. Everything's going great. Now in this next picture, we've got some interesting shenanigans. Basically, we have cloned both of them. I don't know if you really want 3 Lokis running around on the planet or more, but this is what we're doing. Again, only try this with a mathematician because, we're just incredibly strong and basically just, incredibly super ginormous, incredible, smart, beautiful, very intelligent human beings, right? So if I have 3 Hulks and I have 3 Lokis, the Hulk stack, I gotta write that down. The Hulk stack is larger than the Loki stack. And so I'm going to claim that if I multiply A times C, A being the Hulk, and I multiply B by C, in this case, C is is 3 in this case. The Hulk stack is bigger than the Loki stack. In fact, it's much bigger because you're multiplying, and so you're making it even bigger. And so A times some number is going to be greater than B times some number as long as you've got a positive number. Now, you may be asking, what the heck is going on in the bottom? Well, this is, of course, the monkey bars. And hopefully you grew up somewhere where you were allowed to sneak out and play on monkey bars, because I think that children really need to get close to death at least once for a good, a good growing up well. So I have 2 Hulks and they're hanging upside down from the monkey bars. And I've got 2 Lokis. I don't know why he's still unhappy, even upside down. So 2 Lokis and 2 Hulks. And you would normally say, well, the Hulks are taller, but I'm going to do, oops, I have to point here, but I'm going to do something weird. You ready for my shenanigans? Technically speaking, who's taller? Oh, that's exciting. My computer's all beepy beepy. Who's smaller and who's bigger? You've got it. Loki, because they're upside down, ends up being taller because when he hangs down, he's actually further up than the Hulk, who's hanging further down. This is pretty weird. There's a good chance that no one else has tried to explain it with monkey bars before, and it's okay if this is just kind of weird. What you got to remember, and this is so important, I'm pulling out this guy, this bad boy. Notice that In this inequality, all the other inequalities were a greater than because the Hulk was bigger. In this case, A times some number is less than B times some number when C is negative. So when you multiply or divide by a negative number, when you multiply, there's a lot of spelling, or divide, I really think I should get a raise for all this spelling. I don't know that there are a lot of English teachers who have to do math as part of teaching. I think as math teachers, we should get out of having to spell, but when you multiply or divide by a negative number, flip the inequality. And of course, now that I've written it in pen, it dawns on me to say when you multiply or divide both sides, right? You got to do the same thing on both sides. You got to balance it. Okay, so what in the world is happening in this last box where I didn't pre-draw anything? Well, there is another possibility. If you foolishly multiply by 0, both sides end up being 0. Hulk and Loki go home. And you get an equation because 0 equals 0. So that's it seems kind of silly, but mathematicians love to be silly like that. Okay, again, I'm going to have to say goodbye, but don't panic. I will be right back. In my time, in a few seconds, in your time, as long as it takes you to go get a snack or something, I'm sure, and we will continue with 4.1. Woohoo!